Hey, what's shaking, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Mons, our Digimon adventure. God damn it!
JJ, you had one job.
Wow.
One job.
Oh my god, I thought I got rid of it. Sorry. It's our Digimon Ghost Game podcast. I don't know, just saying Digimon Adventure just rolls off the tongue so much better. I don't know.
It does, I will admit.
Oh god. It's our Digimon Ghost Game recap podcast. My apologies. My name is JD, and I'm, of course, joined by Jeanette and Gary.
Hi.
Hello.
I have no jobs.
No, your job is to be here and give opinions.
I can do that.
You both do it so well.
Some days it's hard, but I can do this.
It's okay. We are going to be talking about episodes 17 and 18, Icy Hell and The Land of Children. I think last episode we speculated because episode 18 was going to be around Valentine's Day that maybe they'd have a Valentine's Day episode, and they did not.
Disappointed.
That's okay. That's fine. We got a possible death by hypothermia and child kidnapping this week. So
yeah, it took a turn for the dark and weird.
God, like you almost watch all the characters die at one point. So that's fun. Speaking of, we'll go ahead and dive into episode 17, Icy Hell, which has probably the most ludicrous start to an episode that I've seen so far. Look. I'm all for like Kyoshiro being like this super genius who like technically is already a college graduate, but he went back to high school or junior high even, for the experience. But this posits that he was put in charge of designing and running or at least maintaining a self-sufficient power generator plant.
We are the adults. I don't care how smart you are. You're not gonna make a one person operated geothermal power plant. We are all the adults.
Like no,
we are piping to make things.
It's not so much like I can buy that this is the near future and like you know what, we made a geothermal plant that doesn't really need anyone around to run it. Like we could do it from computers elsewhere, or like the machines just run themselves. I can buy that. But the fact that they sent this like 13-year-old to go check up on it because he was the designer of it, I don't buy that.
They're just getting irresponsible at this point, the adults in the show.
Yeah, like send a guy in and have him zoom in the expert. I mean, they both should be expert.
I don't care how smart this kid is. He should be supervised. Like this. Sorry, go ahead, Gary.
Also, that he's allowed to just bring friends over.
Yeah, this isn't a security facility at all. I do like this episode starts with I bet you're wondering how we got here. Scene.
Oh yeah.
It just starts with fucking Hiro and Kyoshiro just like freezing in a room, and they're like, whose fault is this? Flashback to 20 minutes earlier. But yeah, so this episode is like, so the gang goes out to like pretty much the middle of nowhere to check on this fucking geothermal power plant that apparently Kyoshiro helped design, and he's the only person qualified enough to check on it. But through no fault of their own, this Digimon who is a snowplow, basically, his name is Frozomon. I'd never heard of him before. He's probably very new. But he decides that he hates the plant, or at least the heat source that's coming from it, and literally buries the plant in snow, freezing everybody inside. And you basically spend the entire episode watching the kids try to run away or hide from this monster as it is slowly freezing them to death. And like, there's that one point in the episode where like, obviously this is a show for children and they're not going to kill any of the kids off, but like Kyoshiro, Hiro, and Goramon and Gamamon all pass out like from the cold, and Jellymon and Rui are the only ones left to stop this thing. And it turns out it's just a big misunderstanding.
Of course.
But you know, there's some like there's some thing about how workmen just don't talk, they just do. And I'm like, well, okay.
was just like you forgave this guy way too easy. It's like sorry, so like yeah, you just basically tried to kill us, but it's all good. You had a reason for it. I don't know about you guys, but like at the end of the episode where he's about to fucking kill Ruli, or Ruli and Jellymon are about to kill him. All of his little minions that have never been mentioned up to this point just show up out of nowhere and like don't kill your friend.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
They're not minions. They're more like the kids that he takes care of.
It's his local gang of street urchins.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this hits at the point of these two episodes with the Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, it just kind of Gary's exactly right.
Yeah, I like the Deus Ex Machina and the next episode better than this one though.
Yeah, at least thematically it makes sense in the next episode. It's
Yeah.
still annoying,
but I don't know. I'm just like, man, it was kind of disturbing watching these kids slowly freeze to death, and like there was a small possibility that maybe these kids just die in this episode, and this fucking season gets cut short.
It was intense. And then Jellymon goes into rage mode with Rory, like because Jellymon realizes that all her friends are like freezing to death, and it was intense.
Yeah. Oh, and Ruli somehow connected with Jellymon with like suddenly like moves popping into her head.
Yeah.
Now that's an interesting twist.
I was kind of surprised by that. Because obviously for this iteration, they kind of went, and I hate making this comparison. They went like a Pokemon route where the trainer has to call out the move that the monster is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So through basically their connection with the Digimon, they like know what moves they have, and they're like, okay, we'll use this one. Use this one.
Mm-hmm.
And usually you would think that okay, only the Digimon and their assigned partner are gonna have that connection enough, but apparently Jellymon Ruli can do that. Because Ruli was having the flash where it like pops up what move a Jellymon should use in her head, like it usually does for Kyoshiro. So I'm wondering if that means that we can like mix and match the monsters with the kids sometimes.
That would be so cool.
So you're like Gamamon or Hero is teams up with Angoramon or something, and like he gets a different move because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's gonna have some ramifications or not.
Yeah, I do think a part of it was Jellymon was like, I will let you take control of me because of the situation.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, but it's either going to be one of those things that's going to play into the series more, or we're never going to see it again.
Yeah. And I hope they do more with it because it's an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I feel like that it's not exactly one-to-one to Pokemon because there are a lot more autonomy. It's just that, like tactically speaking, during a fight, the human has precedence, but the Digimon can act on their own.
Right, and literally, I was just making that comparison because the trainer is the one calling out the moves, whereas in pretty much every other iteration of Digimon, the Digimon pretty much call out their own moves and do what they want to do. But you're right, it's not a 1-to-1 comparison, obviously. But yeah, so this episode was just kind of intense, kind of sad at parts. Brings up an interesting question and has kind of a confusing ending.
I feel like these episodes, for the most part, they have really good writing, but what's holding them back is trying to fit them into one episode. So the writers just get this intense arc going up, and then they're like, either they write themselves into a corner, or they're like, oh, time's up, time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
They're spending way too much time trying to build something up, and then like, oh shit, we're like 2 minutes to the end of this episode. We gotta wrap this up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, especially these last the two episodes we talked about today. Yeah, they definitely have that kind of really quick ending.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm hoping that not future episodes are going to continue that trend at least. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, there's a few little things that I appreciate with this particular episode. Is that in one scene, Ruli was about to call the other two while they're hiding. And I'm glad they didn't do the whole trope where the phone gave away the position.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
They've already done it, so it'd be annoying for them to do it again.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, we've been saying is this episode has a lot of really tense moments, and yeah, it's that scene where like all the boys are hiding from Frozomon because he's like going through the facility hunting them down, and like Ruli made her way outside and is literally about to call Hero, but for some reason she like hesitates and doesn't do it, and it is like literally at a critical moment that they could be caught. I don't know if there's like some reason that like maybe she knew they were in trouble and like calling them would fuck it up or what, but I did think that I agree with you that is a good subversion of that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one funny thing that I noticed in the art/animation is that Angoromon is mostly fur. Like that roundness, it's all fur. Because the boys are like literally in the fur. Like initially, I thought he was just holding them in his arm, but no,
he just sticks them in there.
Yeah,
it just pops out from the fur.
So that makes me think that his evolution is just him losing all his fur. Like all of that's most of that's just underneath him normally.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Anything else we want to say about this one?
My heart skipped a beat when little dinosaur Digivolved is like, I'm so cold. I'm like, no, Gamamon, no.
Jeremy Snow here, owner and editor-in-chief of The Geekly Grind. I'm interrupting your awesome, regularly scheduled programming to ensure that you know about our Geekly Grind podcast network, of which this show is a treasured member of. If you haven't had a chance to check out our site, you can do so at www.thegeeklygrind.com, and while you're there, check out the other members of our steadily growing podcast family, including the anime-centric Blake and Spencer Get Jumped, discovering new heroes and comic book keepers with Chris and Lance, exploring the vast universe of geekdom with Geeksploration, or of course appreciating animation's finer details with the Ink and Paint Club. Escape your weekly grind at The Geekly Grind.
Alright, well that will bring us into episode 18, The Land of Children. An episode all about child abduction.
It's actually kind of uncomfortable in parts.
It's very uncomfortable.
Also, I need to get this out there. This episode is batshit insane.
Oh no, it's bonkers for sure. So basically, this episode is Peter Pan. It's not even being subtle about it. It's literally Petermon, who is Peter Pan. There is an accompanying Tinkermon, but she's not in this episode.
I hope she appears.
Yeah, at some point. But yeah, fucking Petermon decides that children need to stay children. It is going around the neighborhood fucking kidnapping children in the night. If that's not bad enough, he has the power to manipulate people while they're sleeping. So he kidnaps children and then alters the memory of their parents so they never remember that they existed in the first place. And so then when fucking Kyoshiro goes investigating about this, he finds a fucking mom and like, hey, your children's gone missing. She's like, what do you mean? I don't have a kid. And then she starts showing him all the photos of her and the kid and the kid's room, and she fucking loses her mind.
It's actually terrifying to watch.
Yeah, she's just screaming. It's like, I don't have a child. Who is this child?
Oh no, and he wasn't the first one, because from the sound of it, it's like she was saying like she would call the cops and stop bothering me. It's like other people have noticed too.
So it's just disturbing that this fucking Digimon is just going around fucking kidnapping kids and then memory wiping their parents. And it's just terrifying. And he's like taking these kids away to an alternate dimension. He basically has his own pocket Neverland dimension that he can go to. And yeah, I like the way they figure out how to get around his portal, because apparently he has to say a phrase, and then the kids that are in Neverland have to repeat a phrase back to him, and that opens the portal. Mm-hmm. And they have to figure out, like, okay, well, he is obviously not going to open it for us. How do we get in there? So they basically have to plant Gamamon inside He like volunteers, like, okay, I'm gonna pretend to be asleep. Petermon's gonna kidnap me, take me to the other world, and then I'll get everyone to repeat the message for you to bring you in so you can rescue all the kids. So that little bit was like kind of clever and kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I also love that fucking Hawkmon shows up again.
Yes.
Like these two, like a male and a female Hawkmon just show up and implies that maybe our protagonists aren't the only people having relationship with Digimon, because apparently these Hawkmon know this kid and they basically came to Hero for help. For the reason I found very funny is because fucking Clockmon told him to do it.
He said that Hero.
Oh no, you were about to say it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hero never says no, so they can ask him for help.
Hero's a giant pushover, so go ask him for help.
Yeah, that sounds like Clockmon, to be honest.
And he like, I like that Hero's response was like, yeah, all right.
It's like, I guess.
One thing that I do really like about this episode is that our heroes also got their memory erased at one of the night.
Which sorry, what I was just going to say, which I was actually really surprised about because I didn't expect that at first. Yeah, because they have that whole scene where they're trying to chase him down at night to save a kid, but they lose him. But they wake up the next day, and Kyoshiro's like, I had this meeting for us scheduled, but I don't remember what it was for. And they don't even remember like meeting Hawkmon at night, and the only evidence they have is Ruli or Angoramon was filming it the whole time.
Yeah, props to Ruli and Angoramon being all social media savvy, filming everything.
It pays off sometimes.
For a second, I thought Petermon was going to murder them in their sleep.
You know what? He had prime opportunity to do it.
He has two freaking giant ass daggers.
And he's a total yandere. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
He's not just any Peter Pan. He's yandere Peter Pan. Don't mention growing up around him.
Oh yeah,
no.
He gone apeshit in his Never Ever Land when one Digimon's like, if I was taller, I could block a goal when they were playing soccer.
And he's like, don't you fucking say that again or I'll murder you. But yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Jeanette.
We kind of have to get to the elephant in the room about this episode, though. At some point.
Yeah. Are we talking about the evolutions or the out of nowhere ending?
The out of nowhere. I guess we gotta talk about the evolutions, but this is just, it's like a crescendo at the end of just batshit insanity.
Yeah.
I do have a question about why did Hawkmon evolve into Orcamon?
Okay, so I was equally confused about this until I remembered that Orcamon is technically an armor evolution of Hawkmon. If Hawkmon uses the Egg of Reliability, so Samarimon's Digi-Egg, it becomes Orcamon. It's weird that it did it through natural evolution, though.
I mean, Gamamon evolves into 3 different things, so...
I guess.
Yeah, but there's still Dino theme.
It's fast and loose with whatever, but...
Yeah.
It was very interesting that these Digimon that got taken... And they're pretty much all rookie Digimon. Because they're, the kid form of everything. So all these rookie Digimon got taken along with the human children to this Neverland dimension. And basically to Gamamon and like everybody evolves, and it like inspires all the other Digimon to like, well, we want to grow up and be strong too. So we just have like this montage of all the Digimon like evolving. So like obviously Hagurumon goes into Garjomon and Guapamon shows up, and just all these different champion level Digimon just start being evolved, and it like makes Petermon lose his mind. But yeah, I guess we can talk about the ending. It was equally, if not more so, out of nowhere than the last episode's ending.
Thematically, it makes sense because it's Captain Hook in a giant.
It is Captain Hookmon, and
he just rips a hole in the pocket dimension out of nowhere.
Literally out of nowhere.
In a giant fucking pirate ship.
It was like in the middle of a speech, and it just happened to come in at the same moment to agree with our hero.
Yeah. It's like you weren't even in this dimension to hear what he said to agree with it. I love that Captain Hookmon is just a dude. He doesn't look like a monster. No, he's just a dude. He's a dude with a big gun.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and
Peter.
a giant hook.
I mean, Peter Pan looks like a Bishy too. So
Well, at least Petermon looks like he's got elf ears and he's got like gray skin and stuff, so he looks kind of like a monster. But like I'm okay with like semi-humanoid Digimon, like Angemon and all of them are like very humanoid, have human skin and all that. But it's different because you don't see their faces. Literally, I think Captain Hookmon could walk down the street and no one would bat an eye other than his weird outfit.
It's a cosplayer.
Yeah, it's just a cosplayer, but no, he's a Digimon.
For a second, I was like, is that Hero's dad?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I know Captain Hookmon and Petermon and Tinkermon. I've known that they are actual monsters. It's just weird seeing them actually animated and just seeing how actually just a guy that Captain Hookmon is.
I feel like creativity-wise, it doesn't feel that creative. Because at least with Frozomon, it's a monsterized version of Snowblower. But this here with Petermon and Captain Hookmon, it just feels like they're just a generic RPG character with the...
Like I said, I'm fine with Petermon because he looks kind of like a monster because he's got like the weird skin color and he's got elf ears and stuff, and I can buy that as a Digimon. But Captain Hookmon literally just looks like a regular man.
Yeah,
so at least they didn't.
He doesn't look any like I could see this man on the street.
Listen, at least they didn't take Peter Panmon, put a different hat on him, and call him a different Digimon.
That's true.
That's true.
Fair enough.
I'm on the Digimon wiki, and the previous evolution form of Captain Hookmon is just Hookmon.
Yeah,
and that looks much more like a Digimon. It's,
oh yeah, Hookmon's just a little pirate dude, and he's got like a shadow. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Chibi pirate dude, ginormous hook, and a old-timey Bundeblast cannon for an arm.
Yeah, he does.
It doesn't look humanoid at all because the head is all hidden inside this big giant hat.
Yeah, it's like it.
Yeah. When you take Hookmon and you give him the egg of the shonen, he turns into Hookmon. I'm not Hookmon, Captain Hookmon, whatever.
Captain Hookmon.
Yeah.
And like divorced from the Peter Pan mythology, like calling him Captain Hookmon, like that's fine. I'm fine. Like, okay, yeah, he's a pirate. Of course he would be a captain. Why wouldn't he be? But now that he's like in the Peter Pan mythology, he's not Captain Hookmon, he's Captain Hookmon.
Oh my gosh.
He's just tied to that mythology. Where's Wendymon? And where's the Lost Boy Mons?
The Lost Boys were the children.
I guess so. I just want actual tied to the Peter Pan mythology Lost Boy Digimon.
That would be amazing, not gonna lie.
That'd be so stupid.
Yeah, and so was this episode, but I loved it anyway, so...
Yeah.
This episode's so fucking dumb. It's, disturbing, but its execution is so stupid.
Yes. You can't take any of this seriously. It's either over the top or just flat out dumb, but confidently dumb in an adorable way.
Yeah. But it did give us, Jeanette, I assume, one of your favorite scenes out of this whole show so far.
Yes, Gamanon. I can't say his name. He's on a Roomba. It's amazing. There needs to be more Digimon on Aroombas.
It's so fucking. It's like one of those. It's like we've been talking about how the monsters will just do stuff in the background. Like they cut Hero and Gamamon are in Hero's dorm room, and the Roomba runs into Hero and flips over and then flips back over, and then Gamamon just gets on and starts riding it around.
It's just this 2-second scene, and it's just amazing.
It made my day. I'm not gonna lie. It was
it's
beautiful.
And it's those little flourishes, just those little extra things that make it special and make it fun.
Yes, anime has peaked. Dinosaur and Roomba.
Gamamon on a Roomba is adorable. It's pretty good. But yeah, I feel like these episodes were just more Monster of the Week stuff. I don't think we got any further plot stuff. We got a mention of Hero's dad, but more in a general sense, not in a my dad's doing something and this might advance the plot kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know if they're ever gonna. I feel it's either gonna be like the last 13 episodes is all plot, or the last half of the show. But at this point, I don't know.
Man, I feel like they need to start doing more with Hero's dad, or what's going on in the actual digital world, or like Ferrismon needs to come back from the Digimon Satan episode a couple episodes back. Like that needs to be like, is he like the bad guy here? I need some kind of through plot to start happening. Not that I'm not enjoying these Monster of the Week things, and if that's what it's going to be, then it needs to be that, and not like slowly giving me bits and pieces every now and then. I need it to like start actually cohesing.
Slowly starting to cohese. We're getting to the point where there's like continuality from each episode. It's just very slow, and it's going to drip feed that until if it ever.
Yeah, but I feel like it's probably gonna, I'm gonna guess, take us around until episode 25 before we have more bigger plot, like for more progression in plot.
I agree.
Yeah, and I'm gonna guess this is probably gonna get the usual like 52 episode run, unless it's like Adventure. They got like 60 something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guessing 50-ish episodes. So
I think that's a safe bet.
So we'll see. I hope I'm enjoying myself. I would just rather it start putting some bigger plot threads together.
I'm enjoying it, but I feel like it's capable of so much more than it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
for sure.
It's got the groundwork for something really good. They just need to do something with it.
Exactly. Well, I think that will wrap us up for today. Thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, in the comments on our socials, let us know what you thought about these episodes and how much you want to put a Gamamon plush on a Roomba now. Because I think that needs to happen for all of us in our lives.
Yes.
I think that we need that brightness in our lives. Yep, everyone, thank you for listening. Stay safe, and we will catch you all again next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.